Hi, boys and girls. Big Sam here of the DU Football Show. Joined with me is Producer Mel. How you doing, Producer Mel?
Hello, DU World. Miss us yet?
Well, it's Monday night, and Mr. Graham is up in his humble abode in Baltimore, and we are taking a month off. Why are we taking a month off? Because we have done this show for 3 fucking years, so we deserve a month off.
In fact, I did the math. You know the only person who has never taken a single show off is?
You?
Me.
Well, what about on the cruise?
I still had to fix the show and repost it, if you remember that one correctly.
That's true. Very good. Very good.
Remember they fucked that one up somehow?
Yeah, what idiot told you we're going to record live from the beach while we're on vacation?
I don't know.
That was me.
That was last year. We're not doing that this year.
So what we're going to do for the month of June is we have a couple of fun little shows that we did. I guess you can call them our radio singles, if you would, from each year. The first one, the one that we're going to do this week, is the Whiskeys of the EPL, where we compare every single team to a brand of whiskey. So Graham says his and I say mine, and we go back and forth. And it was a lot of fun. It took a long time to write and figure out. You start to do it and you're like, oh, wait, I got to do 20 of these? Like 2 were easy. Now I got to start thinking and researching.
And of course, while you're doing it, you're also drinking.
Yes, of course. As per our normal requirements of anything to be done at the newly stated DU Public House.
Yes.
That's right. We are no longer at Studio H.
No.
It is...
taking my brand back.
Yeah, the DU Public House. By the way, hello and welcome to anybody from the BA podcast that might be checking us out. There will be live content coming in July. In fact, we're going to do 3 shows that will involve a supporter of each one of the teams that just got newly promoted. So we did this last year, and it was fantastic. And really excited to do it again this year. It's kind of a getting to know you show.
Now, however, if those of you are going through withdrawal from the normal Sam Graham and Huston banter, there is a way you can find it.
Yeah, we actually, there is new content out there currently on our Patreon page, www.patreon.com/DU Football Show. And for $5 or $9, you get a little bit of extra content.
Yep.
And Mr. Graham and I and producer Mel sat down on one Saturday and cranked out 7 shows in one night.
Yeah, so there are 7 shows being released, one at a time, over at our Patreon. It's 4.
Some of them have already been rreleased, because we did the normal show. And then we did
Soundcheck, we're still doing every week.
Yeah, Soundcheck we're doing every week as well.
So that's 8 shows. You're right.
Okay.
I undercounted it.
But the Bob podcast was fantastic. I didn't get a chance to talk to you about this, Mel. It was really fun. So I didn't know what I was walking into.
9 shows.
Okay. I didn't know what I was walking into. They did what they call their lightning round, whereas basically they just ask you quick questions, right? And some of it's pot shots, because obviously it's the soccer show. Let's make fun of soccer people, right? Shit happens, whatever. I'm good with it. I roll with the punches.
Yeah. I've been making fun of you for years.
But it was kind of fun, like, greatest player ever, right? Mm-hmm. Well, instinct is to say Pele. I actually said Diego Maradona. I thought his impact on the game was bigger than Pele's, but just fun. It was a very fun show to do. It was quick. It was coming at me fast. I made it a point to make sure I was a few in, because they wanted only drinking podcasts. So I wanted to make sure I had put down a couple of tall boys of Ice House and a glass of whiskey before I sat down to start talking to them. But it was a great show. And if you are newly checking us out, please reach out to us on Twitter at DU Football Show, and let me know what you think. I'm the guy who mans the Twitter, so I'd love to hear from you. And without further ado, Melissa.
Yes.
Whiskeys of the EPL.
This is Alan with Tune Arm in Baltimore. A gooner and a toffee walk into a bar. Decided to do a shit football podcast. You're listening to the DU Football Show.
You know what, Sam Graham? That's not a bass line. That sounds like a guitar riff.
It does sound like a guitar riff.
Could that be We Have New Theme Music, my good friend?
I think it does, my friend. We do.
Oh my gosh. Well then, without further ado, Whiskey and the Kidney Stones, why don't you take us in?
Born in the land of Bowie, Maryland. Bred to be a fan of fucking Everton. Punch you in the eye and drink your rye. Sam Houston.
Sam Houston?
Arsenal fans have another Sam. AKA the fucking Gooner Graham. Snub of my lord. Looks great in shorts. Sam Graham, hey.
Sam Graham.
Fucking United! Fucking United!
Hello and welcome to the Drunkard United Football Show, a completely biased recap of the English Premier League as told by two common American schmucks. I am your host, Sam Houston, and across the internets, my fellow co-host, the beautiful Samuel Graham. Sammy, how you doing?
I am beautiful. I finally got a fucking haircut.
Hey, how about that? Looking good there.
Yeah.
I know.
Feeling good. Thank you very much. Yeah.
You got the haircut, but then you got the big, full, bushy beard then. Because
Well, I trimmed the beard. The beard was bad. The beard was girthy, to say the least.
Well, you've been doing that Rika thing with the beard, I get. So I saw that one on Instagram. It was pretty good. Oh, hey.
Yes, I had to trim that down.
Excellent. We're recording at Studio H, just outside our nation's capital. You can check us out wherever you like to get your podcast. Please be sure to subscribe, rate, review, and most importantly, share with your friends, especially this episode. This is going to be pretty fun to do. Now, should you want to chat with us, there is many ways that you can. Sammy, tell the good people how they can get in touch.
Absolutely. You can get in touch with us on the social media, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. At DU Football Show is our address there. And then dufootballshow@gmail.com to get in touch via email, especially on the Facebook. Once you like Drunkard United Football Show, the show page, you'll receive an invite to Drunkard United Football Club, which is our closed group for talking shit. So make sure you like it, like the main show page, and then you'll be sent an invite to the closed group.
Excellent. Also, be sure to follow Twitter this week. As we do this show, we're actually going to do a little voting poll throughout the week of Sam and I's different things, and you guys can vote on who you liked better, myself or Mr. Graham.
And we'll remind you about that later as well.
Excellent. We both work in the wine and spirits industry, both have a deep, passionate love for all things distilled spirits. So as the red-blooded Americans we are, we vow to have a drink in our hand throughout this show and every single show. Even when we're far apart, we're still close and united in alcohol, aren't we, Sammy? What you drinking?
I'm holding it up now. So what I have here, I did not bring the bottle down with me because I only want to have one glass of it. Because it's quite expensive. But I've got Glenfiddich 21-year-old, which is their the Grand Reserva. It's their rum barrel finish from Glenfiddich.
Lovely fucking whiskey.
Very, very good whiskey. Smooth, little sweetness up front. Traditional Speyside over the rest, but nice and mellow. Comes in at 80 proof and just over $200 on the shelf.
Lovely. Very good. So
now, once this glass is gone, I'll tie back into my Woodford single barrel from Mount Airy Liquors
that you were drinking the week before. Very fair. Fair enough. Very fair. Very fair. So me, I'm going back to old standard classic Mr. Houston. Really expensive fucking whiskey and really cheap, shitty beer. Order has been restored in the Houston household over the past month. You all have known my trials and tribulations with not being able to get Ice House from my my local beer store, but that problem has been corrected as I found another store that got me Ice House. So I now have Ice House, and I'm happy. But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the whiskey in the glass. I am drinking Whistle Pig's Boss Hog 6th edition, the Samurai Scientist.
Ooh, that's a damn good whiskey. That
so previous Boss Hogs, the Black Prince specifically, won best whiskey in the world. It was the first American whiskey to do so, and in fact, I believe while I was on my cruise, you guys all hijacked my Boss Hog and started drinking it. Yep. So this is barrel proof. It comes in at a 121.3 proof. It is also finished. The reason why it's called the Samurai Scientist, it's finished in umashu barrels, which is a Japanese plum liqueur. You might notice it if you've been in a liquor store before. Round, longer, tall bottle that's got little tiny green fruits in it all over inside the bottle. So, going to run you about $4.99 on the shelf.
Yeah. $499, that is.
Yeah, $499 on the shelf. So I am drinking that, and I've got a really full bottle, so I may even have a second glass tonight. So,
Look at you.
Sammy, are we ready to get into this?
Yeah, I think we are.
All right, let's have a great show.
Social distance cheers.
Very good. All right. So there has been some news concerning the EPL season with the hashtag restart thing that they're doing. But we can pontificate about that another time, Sammy. It's might as well let all the other shows talk about it for a week. And like, honestly, they haven't really said much other than, oh, we're going to try to restart the season. So let's wait a week and see where the news falls. We had come up with a great idea for tonight's show, and we're going to actually compare each one of the teams from the English Premier League to brands of whiskey. So, Sam, why don't you explain real quick where the idea came from?
100%. So this show, we decided to actually take a suggestion for once. Normally, we're well too crass to do so, but this time we're actually going to do it. Our good friend Russ asked us to compare the EPL teams to whiskey brands as a whole. The history of the club, the stature of the club, and to compare it to whiskey brands that we know and love or want to make fun of. Naturally, we would normally tell him to fuck off, but since there's been no football, and honestly, the idea sounded a bit better after 3 days of sleeping on it, we decided, what the hell? So if you like it, appreciate us and our vetting of ideas, and if you don't, it was Russ's fault. You ready to get started?
Yes. Well, just a real quick disclaimer for everybody before we start. Understand that this is tongue-in-cheek. It's just us busting balls and having a laugh. We love the brands. We love the league, except for Liverpool. They can fuck right off. So lighten up and remember the number one rule. Mel, what's the number one rule?
DBAC.
And you should be able to figure that out on your own if you already listened to the show. So, Sam, let's go alphabetically through the teams. Why don't we do I do, you do, then you'll go first, then I'll go second, kind of like that. Go just alternate back and forth.
Alternate, yeah, sounds good. Yep.
You want me to lead off with Bournemouth, or would you AFC Bournemouth?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, great. So AFC Bournemouth, the Cherries, as they are known. The only time that they're at the top of any list is at the beginning of the Premier League season, and
right.
here. I put them down as Compass Box whiskey. Interesting, fun and innovative, decent, but nobody's buying it.
Yeah, all right, fair enough. I listed the Cherries as Tomatin.
Okay.
Scots, which you're familiar with. One or two very good pieces, but the rest of it's lying as shit.
Beautiful. All right, kid. Arsenal, go ahead and put on your Arsenal colored glasses and tell me what lovely whiskey you're going to say for your team with no insult.
No, I know. I did this for real. I took this seriously. I've compared my Mighty Gooners to Balvenie. They used to be innovative and creative, but things have stagnated a bit and still very expensive to experience.
Fabulous. All right. You're gonna, I don't know how you're gonna react to this one, but it's pretty damn good. Arsenal, Jameson, an industry leader, immensely popular. Triple distillation makes it a little thin, consumed predominantly by mouth breathers.
Wow.
Come on, Arsenal TV. What is the very definition of Arsenal TV? Fucking mouth breathers.
Well, they're in no way associated with the club, technically. They've actually received a cease and desist from the club. But fair enough.
All right.
Fair enough.
You know, but I did make it an industry leader, which they are.
That's true. That brings you to Villa, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. So, Producer Mel's Club. You ready for this, Producer Mel?
I think so.
All right. Aston Villa. Old Granddad. It's a classic bourbon. Been around forever. Does it really belong here? Perhaps it should go on a shelf lower than the rest of the bourbons.
Ouch.
All right.
Ouch.
That's harsh. I think mine might be harsher.
Oh, no.
I've compared Aston Villa to Seagram's D.O.
Oh.
It used to be rated. It's still around, but not very good. Your grandfather's whiskey.
Wait a minute. The fuck?
Oh, that's fucking brilliant. How you feel about that, Producer Mel?
It sounds about right, actually. I have nothing to say.
All right. So, Sammy, Burnley, you go ahead and lead us off there.
All right, Burnley. I thought we were going in alphabetical order.
Burnley's next.
Before Brighton?
Oh, Brighton Hove Albion. That's right. My apologies. I did go out of order. My apologies. Go ahead with Brighton Hove.
Somebody needs to learn their alphabet.
Oh, how about because I didn't put Brighton Hove Albion in my notes, but I know it. I'm okay. I know it.
I'm looking on your sheets going, Houston?
That's because
a problem.
my amazing fucking office skills shine through as I completely left a team out of there, which will make a lot of sense when I compare them to the brand I compare them to. You go ahead and go first, sir. Brighton.
There you go. All right, Brighton and Hove Albion. I compared to Kentucky Gentlemen. Everyone agrees it's passable, but honestly, it only sells on price. Very overrated.
Aha. Okay, excellent. So I compared Brighton Hove Albion to Paul John, the Indian single malt. It's a single malt, just not where single malts come from. The package is pretty, but you really just don't feel comfortable buying it.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic.
All right. I'm glad I remembered that one. All right. So now back into alphabetical order. Burnley. For me, Doers, tried and true. It's always there and does the job in a pinch. But just because it's there for you, do you really want it?
Yeah. That's funny. I compared Burnley to Wyoming whiskey, one of your old brands.
Yeah, great little whiskey.
Knows exactly what it is. It never strays from that. Nothing exciting, but it's solid.
That's pretty fair comparison of Burnley. All right. Next up, we got Chelsea. You go ahead and go first, sir.
This is good. Chelsea, I think it's good at least. I've got Chelsea as the entire Suntory whiskey group.
Okay. The Japanese whiskeys.
Okay. Yeah, all of them. Just every single one. Way too much money. They buy things that oftentimes they don't need. And because they don't need it, they farm out responsibility elsewhere.
It's true. They they loan out all their players all the time. That's actually exceptional. I think you'll like mine. Chelsea, Macallan, high class, wealthy, award winning. But every time you find yourself fancying another Speyside whiskey instead. Got him with the mouthful of whiskey on that one. Yeah, it's like every time you get a Macallan, you're like, yeah, Macallan would be nice, but why don't I try this like Glenfiddich or try this Glenlivet or try this Balvenie? Like you always find yourself reaching for another bottle.
Yeah, and for $40 cheaper.
All right, so Crystal Palace. I'll go. Kirkland Bourbon, good old Costco brand. It's Kentucky bourbon. But the classic distillery did not want to put their name on it, so they sold it to these guys. Cannot sell it for too much because everybody already knows where you bought it from.
What's that called? Kirkland what?
Kirkland.
Kirkland.
Kirkland. They have their whole line of stuff, but they're like
It's the stuff you get at Costco.
Yeah, their Kirkland, it is, they source from Kentucky, and it's a 6-year-old bourbon. So it's like legit bourbon, just it's been bought from someplace else.
That's funny. We my high school soccer coach, when I played football at Bowie, his last name was Kirkland.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, so what you got for Crystal Palace?
All right, so Crystal Palace, I compared to Clontarf.
Love Clontarf.
Yeah, me too. But it's fine if you don't have the money for something else. But you'd honestly rather drink almost anything but.
Yeah. Kind of true. The beauty of Clontarf, it's like a $20 bottle of whiskey, and that's why you drink it. You're like, I need Irish in a pinch. I'll drink some Clontarf.
Yeah, exactly.
Man, you sure I can't find $5 more to buy a bottle of Jameson or Bushmill? Fuck. Okay, I guess I'm getting Clontarf.
Exactly. Right. That puts me first on your boys, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Everton, go right ahead, killer.
All right, Everton, Glenfiddich.
Okay.
They used to win a fair amount of awards, but they haven't in a long time. Steady Eddie, always around, still good, but sometimes try things that don't go over too well.
Yeah, that's the season of all number 10s. Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of went the same route, but I did an American. So Everton, Jim Beam, an original, has won all the awards, but it's been a long time. People claim to like it, but do they really?
Yeah, there you go. That's funny.
All right. So Leicester, right? Are you ready for Leicester?
Yep.
George Dickel. It won the top award once. Literally not going to win it again. Ever.
Very true. Very true. I actually compared Leicester to a little bit more recent of Leicester's history. Jefferson's. They've got a good base. Their line extensions, a.k.a. their managers, are exciting and innovative for a bit, but things tend to get old quickly. Only wins awards here or there.
Yep, very good. Well said, well said, sir.
One League Cup and one Premier League in their whole history.
Right, and
I think
they did win when they came up winning the championship, I believe, when they first came up.
Possible, yeah.
Yeah,
it's
I believe
possible.
they had.
Major trophy then.
All right, so now comes Liverpool. Copites or Gobshites? All right, Liverpool. Evan Williams. Bold, boisterous. Wants you to know it's bourbon. Commonly shows up drunk and uninvited. Nobody really respects them and finds them to be trashy.
I compared Liverpool to Hill Rock.
Okay.
The guy in charge wanted to do things differently to the previous employers. They wouldn't let him. So he went and found new backers and methodically built a very expensive but very good brand. You really want everyone to be able to afford it, but not really surprisingly, they can't.
Very good. All right. Manchester City, you go ahead there, killer.
All right, Man City, I've compared to McAllen.
Okay, like I did with Chelsea.
Yeah, they have a very grandiose view of themselves. Don't get me wrong, they're very good, excellent, and they have some great moments, but it's way too expensive.
Excellent. Kind of went the same route on the price point.
Yeah.
Poking a little fun at myself here, everybody. Manchester City, Whistle Pig, ultra premium, world class, top of the game currently, but mostly purchased from someplace else.
There you go. Oh, man, that's funny.
All right, Manchester United, that would be me. Are we ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I put a lot of thought into this one. I think this is pretty good. Jack Daniels, iconic, one of the world's most recognizable brands. Fans are diehard loyal. Starting to feel like the days at the top are dwindling, though.
There you go. I've compared them to Basil Hayden.
Okay.
The original is very good, and if it stuck to its identity, it would get more respect from me. But outside influences made them do things they weren't completely comfortable with, and now it's just not the same.
All right, so that leads us to Newcastle United. You go ahead with Newcastle first.
All right, so this one I struggled with. There were two on here I really struggled with. This one I think is pretty good, though. Pappy Van Winkle.
Okay.
There's always a ton of rumors surrounding it. 99% of the time, those rumors are unfounded. They are okay, and they are okay, and they tick the boxes, but everyone knows their tricks. Overrated beyond belief, but a huge, huge brand despite everything it tries to do to tear itself to shreds.
Oh, my God, that's brilliant. That's brilliant.
The fuck?
Oh, man. So, okay, I am on the exact opposite pendulum of you, but ironically, under the same house Sazerac.
All right.
Newcastle United.
Fireball. I saw it coming a mile away.
Owner is too cheap to invest into real whiskey. It's easy to drink. A lot. Quickly. Then you find yourself immersed in drama and puking in a fireplace.
Let me just say, too, I just knew what the hell you were going to say because I know you so well. That's hysterical. All right. So Norwich, I think that's you then. Yeah,
yep, that's me. Kind of going along the same lines, doing another flavored whiskey.
Okay.
Screwball. You hate to admit it, but it's fun and it tastes rather good. But it's a fad and it won't be around very long.
All right. So I've got Adamans Rye, which we famously were searching for in London while we were there.
Hell yeah. Like crazy. Couldn't find it.
Yeah, at all. So what I compared Norwich to Adamant's Rye whiskey because they are rumored to be very good, but it's difficult to find them when it counts.
Yeah, that whiskey was their malted rye was a top 20 this year. We searched everywhere for it. Couldn't find it anywhere at all, and it's not available in the United States. So, woohoo.
No, yeah, for the 6 days we were there, couldn't find it one bit. So
not even at like the Whiskey Exchange, and they were kind enough. They called around. They were like, "You haven't been able to find it yet? We'll call everybody for you." And they called everybody. Yeah. We sat there drinking expensive fucking 18-year-old single malt with them, and they just called everybody and went, "Can't find it for you." Oh, that's all right. We still dropped a pretty penny in there anyways.
Oh yeah. We also got to try 9-year-old mellow corn. Remember that?
Yeah. Oh, that was cool.
That was excellent. Oh, very good.
So now we're on to Sheffield United, which makes you first.
I think that's me. All right, Maker's Mark. One trick pony. Everyone talks about him, but eventually they'll get found out.
Very good. Excellent. Yeah. Kind of along the same lines here for me. Sheffield United, Crown Royal. Works really well when working together with other flavors, but by itself, rather unimpressive and doesn't seem like it'll last long on its own.
There you go.
Southampton, that's me. We're going to keep it rolling with the good old Canadian theme here. Canadian Club. Not something you really remember. Mixes well with ginger ale. Sells away most of its better whiskey to other brands.
That's pretty good.
As we all know, Southampton notoriously sells away all their players, namely to Liverpool.
Yeah. I'm actually in on the same wavelength again. I've got Southampton down as Crown Royal.
Ah.
Their standard is okay, but when things start to get stale, they sell out and create a new line extension to make up for the dip, i.e. a new player in the youth academy.
Very good. Love it. All right. Tottenham, Sam's arch nemesis. You get to go first.
Yeah, and this is one that I can't wait to say. Tottenham is Hudson corn whiskey. Okay. Legally, it's whiskey, and it's fine for what it is, but it seems like the project isn't done, yet it somehow still gets released for sale. On its own, though, it still sucks.
Now, that's the clear whiskey, right? That's the unfinished whiskey that you're comparing it to?
Yeah.
Very good. All right. Tottenham. Bakers. Steeped in tradition and quite good. But there's other whiskeys from that area you'd much rather have instead.
Yeah.
Just
namely,
yes, namely
either Balvenie or Jameson.
Yes. Yeah, it's like, yeah, they're really good, but there's a lot of other clubs in London you'd rather root for.
Yeah.
All right.
That
so
takes
Watford.
It to Watford, I think. Yeah.
Yep. All right. So that's me. This one's pretty cold. Cuddy Sark, old school, and was quite popular in the 60s and 70s, becoming irrelevant very quickly.
There you go. Very true. I compared them to Jameson. They're there. Okay, I guess. Similar to Clontarf, if I'm honest. Rather not be bothered, but sometimes I have to.
Good answer. All right, so we have West Ham. Sammy, why don't you go ahead and give us West Ham?
Yeah, so West Ham, I actually went with Old Granddad.
Okay.
It used to be okay, thought of as a big brand, but really they aren't. Now on the bottom shelf, and every now and again have a brief resurgence, but never actually seem to stick around or go away.
Yeah, that kind of that plays it up very well. Nicely done.
Yeah.
I was far less kind. West Ham United, Malort. Well, Jepson's, because that's the name they're going to use. Yeah, they're making a bourbon, and it's supposed to be quite good and quite affordable, but it's still fucking Malort.
Oh man, Dildo Brothers would be happy with both of those, I think.
All right, so Sammy, the last one is Wolverhampton. I guess I go first.
Yep.
Journeyman Buggy Whip Wheat, highly rated, sneaky good, but just not big enough to be taken seriously.
All right. That's actually a fair assessment. I went a little bit more Brexit and xenophobic.
Okay,
with
got
mine.
it. All right.
To be fair. Remember that Wolves is an English club, right?
Yes.
I had a lot of trouble coming up with a whiskey for Wolves, so I gave up because I really couldn't be bothered. Admin not being our strong suit. So what I'm about to say, though, I do think perfectly sums up what Wolves is as a club. Plantation rum.
Okay.
They took aging techniques from others and want so badly to be considered a whiskey, but isn't really, despite it being quite good.
Okay. I get where you're getting at.
They are Benfica Junior. When Benfica was attacked by all those fans a few years ago, they basically signed everybody that canceled their contracts because they're all George Mendes's clients, and built their entire team around this Portuguese contingent, but yet still identify as an English club.
Excellent.
So there you go.
I mean, you copped out and didn't pick a fucking whiskey, but that's okay. We won't hold that against you this time. You know, you can't complete your assignments.
I think it was pretty good.
All right. Well, that was pretty fun. I like that, Sammy. That was good.
Yeah.
So what we're gonna do now this week is on Twitter on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Each day we're going to release 5 clubs. We're gonna start at the top, like with Bournemouth, down to the first 5. And we're going to put it up, and we're going to have it. The tweet is going to say, you know, Huston blank, Graham blank. Retweet for Huston, like or favorite for Sam. So pretty for Graham, and we'll have the hashtag Team Whiskey spelled with an E, so WHISKEY, and also the hashtag Whiskey of EPL, not plural. Whiskey of EPL, and
also with an E.
Yes, also with an E. Very good. So we would just want to make sure we're going to tweet those all out. What we need from you guys as listeners is vote, for fuck's sake. We want to get some feedback back and forth. Tell us what you think in the comment. You can comment what you think, but definitely make sure you retweet for me and you like or favorite for Mr. Graham. That's the key thing to make sure that you do.
Yep. So get those likes and favorites hitting, and don't retweet a fucking thing.
Fuck off. It's time to tell you what little we know. It is prediction time.
Hey, listen, fuck all that. I'm tired of that intro because, God damn it, I've gotten 4 in a row.
In a league that we don't count the money on, you're still like damn near close to $2,000 down on the real thing.
Yeah, but I'd be even.
No, you wouldn't.
Absolutely.
You'd be $4,000 down now. Admit it. You know you would be. Because you'd be
won
throwing
4
up,
in a row.
Oh my God, you'd be throwing up all the cockamamie bets right now trying to catch me. You'd be like doing like a parlay with goal scorers and, betting $300 on each bet. Oh my God, just to try to get that one grand slam home run that would put you even with me. Now, that being said, I'm also down. So, in this segment, we predict games in the English Premier League, but obviously there's no English Premier League. Hell, there's nothing to bet on at all. The important thing to know is that we allow our pet chicken to pick games, and the chicken picks games better than both Sam and I combined. And then we have a degenerate gambling friend, Pat, that always chimes in. And then whenever people email us, we let them do their bets as well. Now, Sam has found an infinity for the Belarusian League, and as he has said, he's on a bit of a heater, winning 4 in a row. And myself, I can't be bothered with it, so I have one of the listeners as my proxy do my bets for me because I just don't even want to be bothered. So, Sammy, what do you got for us this week on you?
All right, so unsurprisingly, I am going to keep on riding the FC Slutsk train.
Everybody loves the Slutsk.
That's right. So I've got FC Slutsk to win at home against Energect BGU.
Okay.
Yep. Maybe owned by Constellation. We're not sure.
Isn't everything?
Over 2.5 goals also in the game, which would net me plus 280. So over 2.5 total goals in the game. FC Slutsk to come out on top.
Lovely. All right. Now, we knew last week it was a little tough for our boy Pat. He was obviously on the edge of the cliff and having a tough go of it. So let's go ahead and check in on him.
And now it's time for our degenerate gambling friend Pat's Pick of the Week.
Degenerate Recovery, it's titled. Well, another week and more of the same. I guess a forced recovery program was needed because, believe it or not, I haven't even thought about gambling. It's easy to do when there's really only the lotto to bet on, and I despise the state-run lotto. So really, until games start being played again, I might just begin to accept it and maybe embrace it. Talk to you later, Pat.
Wow.
Dare I say, last week was rock bottom, and he found step one. The first step is admitting that you're powerless. He's admitted he's powerless. Go figure. Pat's on the road to recovery until there's a game.
No one likes a quitter. Can I just say that? No one likes a quitter, and he still owes me $50.
Yeah, but he's still drinking with us every Saturday on the Zoom, so we're doing all right there. So
I'll need him to drink his way to the Venmo then and send me what he owes me.
Damn. Heard that.
Okay.
All right, well then I guess we got to go ahead and go to
Big Sam's Proxy, Taylor's Lock of the Week.
You know what? Here we go. Howdy, boys. So after my first week's prediction came up flat, I entered the second week unflappable, secure in the knowledge that the twins from Bresk would not leave me hanging. He bet on, so Sam's bit is to bet on Slutsk, and Taylor's bit is to bet on the breast because he likes a pair of breasts. Get it? The breast.
And there's Dynamo and Ruh.
Yes.
Brest.
I am
Which
now
is a town in Belarus.
Absolutely. I am now engorged with success and find myself up $274 for my
Engorged.
for my 2 weeks of dart throwing. I mean, my meticulous statistical analysis of the Belarusian Premier League. That's right, Taylor. You tell him. It's your pontificating that's getting it done. All right. So he wrote a bunch of stuff and I edited it. So Brest traveled to Newman Gondoro, or as we like to call him, Newman. I don't know. Sounds like a pretty good arch nemesis name to me, as he says, Newman.
That's one for me.
Therefore, give me Newman to go for the jugular and bounce right out of town. While I expect to get outscored, I still have faith that overall the defense will remain utterly resolute in milking the clock, and I am predicting the total goals to be under 2.5. I am putting down 100 and getting back plus 290. Thanks again, guys. And remember, 50% of the time, it works 100% of the time. Well done, Mr. Taylor.
So that's got to be a 1-0 or a 2-0 scoreline.
Yeah, pretty much. Can't be 3 goals. Yep, cannot be 3. They lose and it can't be 3 goals. So
that's right.
All right, lovely. Well, normally at this point in time, we tend to talk about our dumb indoor soccer team, all a bunch of grown-ass men playing in a young man's league. And we aren't playing right now because, well, fucking Corona. So, Sammy, I guess that's going to about wrap it up. Any parting words, Killer?
Seems to be about it. I do, actually. There's a couple of things I need to get through. Yesterday, need to mention, was the year anniversary of my father-in-law's passing. Mm-hmm. And as usual, whenever something like this comes up, like to raise a glass to him. So, Tony, rest in peace. We miss you and love you every day. God bless.
World-class broadcaster.
Absolutely. Gave me a lot of advice when we started this, actually.
The Mad Dog.
Yeah, I was on 98 Rock. radio station up here in Baltimore. He was, I can't remember the name of it, but was in Cleveland for a year, and then on DC 101 actually for 5 or 6 years.
And finished his career with Sirius XM, correct?
Sirius XM on the Watercolors channel, the Jazz channel, and then Bluesville, which was the Blues channel. He ran 2 shows on Sirius XM for the last 14 years of his career. So excellent broadcaster, mentor, just all around lovely bloke. And my dad died 4 years ago, and for those 3 years was my dad, just a lovely person. So rest in peace and Godspeed to you. Also, on a lighter note, we have a Patreon, guys. www.patreon.com/DUFootballShow. There are 3 tiers that you can sign up to. The first one, just saying thanks, appreciate it. Basically, just refilling our ice. That's what, $1 a month in it?
$2.
Oh, $2 a month. Sorry, we used the crushed ice, so we need 2 scoops.
Yeah.
Then we have a $5 a month tier where you get the Injury Time show, and as well as a sticker. And then we have a $9 tier where you get Injury Time, you get the sound check, you also get a sticker, a coaster, or not
koozie.
Coaster, a koozie. I'm sorry. And then all of our love and affection. We'll send you a video every month of the state of affairs of your particular club. 1 video a month. There you go. So check that out if you'd like to. That'd be wonderful. Helps us keep the lights on. Helps us keep the show running. And then lastly, I would just like to say thank you to Whiskey and the Kidney Stones for that awesome intro and outro. They are, the lead singer is a personal friend of ours. We met him through work, but he's become a very close friend to us, Mr. Adam. You can find them at www.whiskeyandthekidneystones.com. They're also on Facebook. Just search Whiskey and the Kidney Stones. They wrote that brilliant song for us, and we really can't express our appreciation enough. So well done, lads, and thank you.
In fact, Adam's idea. Adam was like, dude, you got to let me write your intro music, which was the coolest thing ever.
And you know what's weird, though, about
What's
that?
What's that?
You told me that he asked us to if we wanted him to write the song for it, and you told me that about 2 years ago when we started this, and it just hit me that how like-minded all of us are, just how absolute shit at admin
Yes,
we all are.
Yes,
And how we surround ourselves with very similar individuals in a lot of cases.
Yep. So,
Well, Melissa's good at admin. She just held up the note sheet, the edit sheet.
with all kinds of chicken scratch all over it, kind of like the Unabomber or a serial killer,
Yeah, pretty much.
It definitely looked like, what was Russell Crowe's character in A Beautiful Mind? The schizophrenic mathematician?
I don't know, but I'll take the compliment.
What, you're Australian and you like to get into fistfights? Is that what we're talking about?
Is that the kind of chicken scratch we're talking about? And then it goes on.
He played an American mathematician during World War II, but the guy was schizophrenic.
Heard. So a little bit about Whiskey and the Kidney Stones. They are, if you took a dick joke and you laid it down to a band that's half punk and half metal. That's pretty much what they are. And they're absolutely fantastic. And all I know is every time I go to see them live, I'm blackout drunk by the end. Yeah, very, very blackout drunk by the end. But they are too, which makes me feel better about it all. So, if anybody's having their way with me, it's probably Adam, and he's just as drunk as I am. So I feel better about it then. So I guess that about wraps it up, boys and girls. Next up is our Injury Time, which is just more of the show. This week, we're actually going to do a little gift, and to all of our regular listeners, we are sending this out for free on Thursday. And what we're going to do is kind of recap the thing we just did with the whiskeys and the teams, and kind of take a little bit of a deep dive in explanations of it all. So with that being said, guys, till next week.
Good night.
Born in the land of Bowie, Maryland. Bred to be a fan of fucking Everton. Punch you in the eye and drink your rye. Sam Houston.
Sam Houston.
Arsenal fans have another Sam. Right, the fucking Gooner Graham. Stump of my lord. look straight in shorts. Sam Grammy.
Sam Graham.
Fucking United! Fucking United! Fucking United! Fucking United! Hit the fucking mute button!